This is the newsroom.
This is the newsroom for Tuesday, January 28, 2025. We're broadcasting to you on E1, SKAR TV, NTN, and TARZEE TV in Bartica. In the headlines, President Ali hears of the steadfast support for Guyana's territorial integrity from the United States Secretary of State. In an intense exchange, GuySuCo is once again the subject of much debate in the National Assembly.
I want to assure all that the coalition will develop GuySuCo. And they have no sugar kind.
Several successful breast reconstruction surgeries are done at the Georgetown Public Hospital. And in sport Minister opposition MP clash over investment in community grounds. And we go behind the scene with legendary Guyanese cricketer Veerasammy Permaul. With the news, I'm Kurt Campbell. Thank you for joining us. First up, Guyana's President Dr. Irfaan Ali and the United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio engaged each other on Monday. In a statement, Mr. Rubio's spokesperson Tammy Brew said the two leaders spoke to address the crisis of illegal migration and agreed to jointly address this regional imperative and challenge. Importantly, it was noted that the Secretary affirmed the United States' steadfast support of Guyana's territorial integrity in the face of Nicolas Maduro and his cronies' bellicose actions. Late last year, Guyana's Vice President Dr. Bartica said the government expects strong solidarity from Florida Senator Marco Rubio, who was nominated by the then United States President-elect Donald Trump to lead the State Department. Jagdeo had said that Mr. Rubio understands the Venezuela issue, and as such, the Guyanese government expects strong solidarity in the border controversy case before the International Court of Justice. We tell you now that Guyana has yet to receive any official notification regarding the potential deportation of its citizens from the United States, despite President Donald Trump's recent executive order aimed at tightening immigration policies. As of Tuesday, January 28, no deportation flights have landed in Guyana, and none are scheduled soon. This follows a wave of deportation flights that have already landed in various Latin American countries as part of Trump's promised crackdown on illegal immigration. A significant portion of the Guyanese diaspora resides in the United States, with over 230,000 Guyanese Americans recorded as of 2019. The majority live in New York City, where the Guyanese community is the fifth largest foreign-born population in the city, with approximately 140 individuals. While not all are undocumented, it is believed that a sizable number of them are at risk of facing deportation under the new administration.
For the days ahead.
We are not aware of any as yet. We haven't been contacted in respect of that. But I would say that we recently deported someone to the United States arising out of requests relating to criminal matters in the United States.
Persons traveling to and from Guyana will no longer forms soon, as efforts are being made to offer the service online. Minister of Home Affairs Robeson Ben told the newsroom that the online disembarkation form is in its testing phase. The move will form part of the country's efforts in moving towards paperless transactions.
That one is in the final stages of testing, and we hope by this weekend it will be fully online. 6 flights were tested during the weekend, and all were successfully trialed. They're doing the final reviews, and hopefully by weekend it should be. They tend to put it out there fully. It's not to facilitate ease of traffic, transitioning into the country, and shut down, slow down, reduce processing time. It will also interface with certain databases quickly, and take away the drudgery of writing and all of those things.
The 2025 national budget debate hit its third day on Tuesday, with all the fire and fury expected from one of the most passionately debated sectors in Guyanese politics, agriculture. Opposition parliamentarian Vince Roy Jordan, who represents a Partnership for National Unity, kicked off the day's exchanges with a speech that lasted almost 40 minutes. His delivery was intense, and it didn't take long for tensions to rise. On the government side, heckles echoed through the chamber, while opposition members responded with bangs of their desks in support of Jordan. But it was Jordan's bold assertion about the future of the Ghana Sugar Corporation, GuySuCo, that truly ignited the room.
In 2021, Mr. Speaker, they lost $7.8 billion. Mr. Speaker, in 2022, GuySuCo lost $10.2 billion. Sir, in 2023, they lost $4.7 billion. Mr. Speaker, I want to assure all that the coalition government will defend GuySuCo. Mr. Speaker, sir, we have long said that the best decision was to right-size the industry. We remain committed to diversifying the industry. We remain committed to ensuring that GuySuCo crop by crop bakes set production targets. Mr. Speaker, we will ensure that a competent and skilled board of directors is installed to oversee the proper management of GuySuCo. We, sir, will not manage GuySuCo in the friends and family affairs, Mr. Speaker.
This did not sit well with Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa, who wasted no time setting the record straight. Taking to the floor, Minister Mustafa delivered a sharp rebuttal, insisting that the PPPC government had not laid off a single sugar worker during its tenure, particularly when it closed sugar estates. He took direct aim at Jordan's claim that billions have been invested since 2020 to reopen estates, rehire workers, revitalize the industry, but there was nothing to show for it.
They want the people in this country to believe. They want the people in this country to believe that sugar started decline under the PPP civic government. I want to give you the records. This is the records, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in 2015, the last year we were in government, sugar production was 231,071 tons, metric tons. In 2019, Mr. Speaker, sugar production dropped to 92,256,000 tons, a 60% decrease in sugar under the APNU time. Under the APNU, sugar declined by 60%. They closed down 4 sugar factories, and we heard all the legend. Honorable Suresh Singh said last night here how he was affected when his father was sent home. And there are thousands of Suresh Singhs around this country whose fathers were sent home, whose parents were sent home, who never had a job to take care of their family. That's the legacy of the PNC APNU.
When the newsroom returns, several successful breast reconstruction surgeries are done at the Georgetown Public Hospital. Welcome back. This is the newsroom. 8 breast cancer survivors are the first batch to have benefited from breast reconstruction surgeries, which were recently conducted at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation.
In 2003, I do chemo, 8 cycle, 32 radiation, and I feel like my life is done because I don't have a breast, and I can't go nowhere. And then I did the breast surgery, the reduction of the breast, and I'm so happy because I could go anywhere. And I must thank the team and the doctor. Because I feel so happy. I feel well back again. And can encourage anybody to come and do it.
That was Ramrati Kanai, 56, a resident of Region 2. She was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2001. Kanai is among the several patients who benefited from a recent breast reconstruction surgery mission at the Georgetown Public Hospital. The team commenced working last Friday and concluded on Monday. Head of the Georgetown Public Hospital General Surgery Department, Dr. Shilinder Rajkumar, provided an overview of the mission at a press conference held on Tuesday.
This mission went into conception about 2 years ago. It's a collaboration between the British Association of Plastics, Reconstructive and Aesthetic Surgeons, their arm, their international educational arm, which is BFIRST, in collaboration with CAPRAS, which is our Caribbean Association of Plastics and Reconstructive Surgeons. This is the first time ever that such a team was put together in any part of the Caribbean. Preparation started about a year and a half ago. But in terms of the way forward, what we do plan out of this is that any patient who would have been diagnosed with breast cancer and had completed their treatment, the option is there for a breast reconstruction. We do have an extensive period of counseling because this is not something that is without complication, without different challenges. The patients have to be very well prepared. In terms of the recovery, as you can see, the first patient that was here, she had her surgery done on Saturday, and she's actually at home and came back this morning like, nothing happened. So the recovery time is not that challenging, and most of our patients, we're happy to report that our patients are even anxious to go home on the second day of surgery. But mandatory in hospital, just monitoring.
Dr. Maniram Rakbir, plastic and reconstruction surgeon of the British Association of Aesthetic Plastic Surgeons, said the focus is to train local doctors so they can work independently in this area.
This is the first time that BAPRAS or BFIRST has ventured into the Caribbean region. Normally we have concentrated our efforts in Africa and Asia. And we are very grateful. With the best intention in the world, you can want to help people, but unless they want to be helped, there's very little you could do. And we've had great support from Guyana, the medical team, the nurses, even the transportation department in Guyana have been really great.
The average cost for a breast reconstruction surgery is £30,000, which is equivalent to 7.8 million Guyana dollars. Reporting for the newsroom, Sharda Bacchus.
Perched on one of Mabaruma's dusty red hills in the village of Hosororo, the community is a quiet example of how hinterland communities are confronting the challenges of climate change. Home to around 286 families, this diverse settlement blends indigenous practices with modern solutions. With funding from the carbon credit payments Guyana is receiving as a result of the Low Carbon Development Strategy 2030, Hosororo has introduced sustainable projects ranging from water storage systems to livestock farming that have improved daily life and provided a lifeline in the face of an increasingly unpredictable climate. In a world where the most vulnerable often bear the brunt of climate change, Hosororo's story offers both a challenge and a model for adaptation.
When I came here, Being a coastlander, I love the mountains. And like a man, I find my rib. And a tranquilo, a stay.
That is the effect that Hosaroro has on anyone who visits. Perched on one of the many hilltops in the Mabaruma subdistrict of Region 1, its charm is undeniable. Hosaroro is special. You feel it when you take in its breathtaking views of lush green forests. Views that for coastlanders are literally breathtaking after climbing Hosaroro's steep hill 300 feet above mean sea level. Hosaroro's history stretches back 3,500 years when the Lokono people, known more widely as the Arawaks, settled near Hosaroro Creek along the Aruka River. They were pioneers in horticulture, and their legacy of farming continues today. Hosaroro residents, now a mix of Lokono, Waraos, and coastlanders, embrace their agricultural heritage.
So living here from 1975, I came here. I got a family right here. I do farming. That's my profession. And well, the community you could see is a lovely one. Nice people.
With funding from the Government of Guyana's Low Carbon Development Strategy, LCDS, Hosaroro residents have made transformative investments. Black tanks for water storage, electricity poles, a truck, and livestock projects involving pigs and chickens. The new Village Council has ambitious plans for future projects, including household initiatives, a mechanic shop, and a shade house to support agricultural activities.
This place here, it got scope to improve. One of the projects that we are presently doing with the community, we keep meetings, and we decide to go into housing, where everybody will be benefiting. Well, we start with like, each household, we give $80,000 that you could buy whatever housing material you need. And also we want to do a mechanic shop for them young guys.
These projects may seem modest to many on the coast, but they've brought significant relief to Hosaroro. The truck and water tanks are vital in tackling the increasingly severe droughts caused by climate change.
As a Guyana is a land of many water, but sometimes it don't be like that, right? But it is very useful because when everybody got their own black tank, when rain fall, you could catch the rainwater, right? When it been a drought time, we use the tractor and the truck would come in there, we buy some square tanks and we would like go pump water and we would supply the same house-to-house business.
Arnold Munsami, a resident who has also made Hosaroro his home, explains how the water tanks have eased life in the village.
When I came here first, I realized because of the height of the hill, or whatever you want to call it, no? Latitude or altitude or whatever, we find that we had to go for water down. It have a falls down at the end. So we used to fetch water from there. I had to get up like 5 o'clock in the morning, fetch water, come up, me and my wife. When we come together, the council was formed, and they get the LCD money. The thing the gentleman was speaking about, they went to house to interview the people, what is priority. And most people find that the tanks was priority.
Diane Richards, a pensioner and diabetic, says the black tank has made a significant difference in her life. It helps her manage her health and household while saving money during the dry season.
Whatever water we, during the dry weather, we get, the rainfall, if it don't fall, we have to buy water. Because we're on top of the hill, so, you have to go far all over for looking for water. So we just got to buy with a canter, we got to think, so we get a little water going. The tank has benefited me in a good way, because I used to have to fetch water, you wash your wares, you have to fetch out in. So I get running water now, and I'm thankful for it.
Sometimes a small opportunity is all it takes to create meaningful change. Down the hill under the shade of a mango tree, Shirley David, a mother of 3 and part-time worker, used her LCDS grant of 80 chicks to build her dream of owning a chicken farm. She now raises 500 chickens, steadily working towards her goal.
I'm so thankful for the help that I get. I received then the 80 chicken from the LCDS. I received 80 chicken, and so far it was good because it was a start for me. No? So from my 80, when I sell that, I buy back 100. So that's how I start go. From when it finish, I go to 150. Then I go to 200. That's what y'all see just now. And then in all I have 500 then because I waiting on this one to make up for see how the profit go again.
With support from the Low Carbon Development Strategy, the people of Hosaroro have made remarkable progress in securing water, improving livelihoods, and creating opportunities for future generations. Projects that may appear small to outsiders, such as installing water tanks, acquiring a truck, and developing livestock farming, have empowered this community, which has contributed the least to climate change, to adapt to its growing challenges. I'm Daniel Swain for the Newsroom.
A sign language course promises to get more persons trained, and the Grand Coastal Hotel has an exciting menu for Valentine's night. More when the Newsroom returns. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is the newsroom. A sign language course for persons without a disability has been developed by the Guyana Council of Organizations for Persons with Disabilities in a bid to bridge the communication gap between the deaf community and hearing members of society, targeting service providers, healthcare workers, teachers, even parents and relatives of deaf persons, essentially anyone who would like to learn the language. The overall goal is to have a larger pool of persons competent in the use of sign language.
For too long, the deaf community, they've been marginalized because of communication barrier. And the more persons we can have using sign language, especially from the wider society, persons that are working within the health sector, persons that are teachers, even parents. Once we can get them equipped with the skills, then we'll make a stride forward in bridging that communication gap within the deaf community and the hearing members of society. Because of the lack of sign language interpreters in Guyana, we don't expect to have people competent in interpreting because that's a skill you learn over years at the end of our course. But at least we will have more persons who are versed in the use of sign language, and we are hopeful that some of those persons will take up sign language as a hobby, whether it's as a profession, so that they can become more competent in interpreting for the deaf community. I just want to encourage any member of the public that has an interest in learning sign language, they can do so by checking out the Guyana Council of Organizations for Persons with Disabilities Facebook page and registering. Currently, we have another sign language course that is being implemented, and that is for persons with disabilities. So that one targets persons with disabilities, including deaf persons. And the one that we are currently registering candidates for, that one is for people without disability.
The Grand Coastal Hotel promises an unforgettable culinary experience this Valentine's Day with its specially curated menus that blends Guyanese and Peruvian flavors. The menu was crafted by executive chef Fabio Sarmiento, and this experience will be available from 1800 hours to 2200 hours Friday.
This Valentine's Day, Grand Coastal Hotel invites you and your special someone to indulge in an unforgettable evening. From inspired flavors to a romantic ambiance, we've designed the perfect culinary experience. Let me show you some of what's in store. We began with tostones. These crispy round plantains are fried to perfection with melt-in-your-mouth beef at the top. These are perfect appetizers for this Valentine's right here at Grand Coastal. We're about to dive into the main course with some TARZEE pork. Now there's an endless array of options for you and your special someone at Valentine's. But we're gonna try this beautiful blend of Asian cuisine mixed with a Caribbean style fried rice. And I can see inside here we have some sweet plantains, and this is gonna give me a unique burst of flavor to pair with the rice and the pork. I'm excited to try. And now for the pork. And to end the evening, let's indulge in the chocolate lava cake. If you're a chocolate lover, this is your dream. It is rich, smooth, and decadent. Let's see the molten chocolate flow as we dive in. Cold and warm are molten together, and it's topped with the cutest mint leaf. Let's try it together. This calls for cuddles on your Valentine's Day. It is yummy, and the soft cake and the cold ice cream pair so beautifully together. This is a 10 out of 10. Chef Fabio, this menu is a celebration of Guyanese flavors. What inspired you to take this approach?
Well, we valued the all Guyanese ingredients, touched to Peruvian influence, and we want to take to the next level.
Oh, you absolutely did achieve that.
We're trying.
You're doing it indeed. This Valentine's Day, let Grand Coastal Hotel take you on a culinary journey of elegance and romance. Reserve your table by visiting our website or calling 220-1091. We can't wait to welcome you.
Chairman of Banks DIH Limited, Clifford Rees, raised serious concerns about the duration it took to fully transition the company into its new holding entity because of delays at the Guyana Securities Council. Banks DIH Limited transitioned to Banks DIH Holdings Inc., a company meant to create a new corporate structure for the Banks DIH group of companies. This move, Rees reminded shareholders at the company's recent annual general meeting, was approved at a special general meeting on July 15, 2023. He, however, lamented that the company only received its certificate of registration on January 3, 2025 from the Securities Council, 18 months after shareholders approved the venture.
Having regard to the lengthy delay in activating and bringing the operations of Banks DIH Holdings Inc., there are a number of questions which arise as to what are the lessons to be learned and what is the message being sent to companies who would like to go public. It cannot be seriously disputed that Banks DIH Limited, before being replaced by Banks DIH Holdings Inc., was the icon of public companies in Guyana. It has 15,393 shareholders, 69 years as a public company, and it pays an average of $51.5 million per day in excise taxes, corporation taxes, VAT, environmental levy, and PAYE. Notwithstanding all of that, it took 18 months after the shareholders' approval for Banks DIH Holdings Inc. to be fully registered as a public company and to be activated so that the shares could be traded at the Guyana Stock Exchange. My fellow shareholders, the fundamental question which arises is what is the message being sent to both foreign and local companies who are considering the formation of a public companies in Guyana and to support and take advantage of this growing economy in Guyana for the benefit of its citizens. What is clear from the Banks DIH Limited experience is that the following matters have to be considered for implementation if there is to be a vibrant capital market in Guyana. We have to review the laws and the regulations of the capital market to make the necessary amendments so as to support and encourage a vibrant capital market in the context of a growing economy in Guyana. We have to have the creation of a manual or a playbook from the regulators so as to avoid recourse to the courts for interpretation of the relevant laws and regulations. Consideration to be given by the Guyana Stock Exchange for annual fees to be paid by all public companies listed on the secondary market.
The Guyana-China Friendship Society, a group focused on promoting understanding and togetherness, is celebrating the Chinese New Year this week. As part of the festivities, a Chinese culture village experience will be held at the Amazonia Mall at Providence, East Bank, Demerara. The event will be held from 1400 hours to 1700 hours, allowing persons to immerse themselves in some of the rich Guyanese culture.
What we want to do is work on getting the wider Guyanese citizenry to understand Chinese culture. We know that there's a big gap in terms of the understanding of the rich culture that the Chinese have. And so one of our role in terms of building Guyana and China friendship is to get the wider Guyanese population to understand the rich culture of the Chinese. This is one of the largest Chinese activity, celebration in terms of participation of people now only in China but throughout the world. It's celebrated widely. So, we are looking to, as part of the celebration, is to do a Chinese village at the Amazonia Mall. That's on the 2nd of February, and it's open to all to come and see to get a glimpse. We really can't showcase the whole thing in such a short time. I think it's from 2 to 5 p.m. in the afternoon. And, we are hoping that, people come out and get a glimpse of some of the rich heritage and culture that the Chinese have.
So Chinese New Year is one of the very important festival for Chinese. It's a reunion for all the family members sitting to eat together. Snake is very warmful and very activity. You can see how the snake movement, right? So that means this year everybody should have a lot of activity, energies, so to build a rich prosperity years. This Sunday, the February 2nd, we will have a Chinese Culture Village experience by Arizona Moore Providence. In this event, you can experience different kinds of Chinese culture things like paper cutting and some Chinese sports and Chinese dragon dance. And also we will have some performance programs, which is the traditional Chinese programs. So you will learn more about Chinese stuff. And also, if you want to learn Chinese, we have the Chinese learning, and that's for you to experience.
When the newsroom returns, the financial weather and bridge reports, along with sport news with Avinash Ramzan. That's it for me, Kurt Campbell. Take care.
Welcome back to Newsroom. Now for a look at what's happening in sport. We're starting off by telling you that the Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport, Charles Ramson Jr., and Shadow Minister on the opposition side, Nima Flubes, on Tuesday clashed over government's investment in community grounds during day 3 of the 2025 national budget debates. Flubes argued that many of the grounds are incomplete, raising questions about incompetence and misuse of public funds. Minister Ramson Jr., however, highlighted that it was in fact the previous government that cut funding to community grounds. In reminding the House of his numerous engagements in various communities, Ramson Jr. said government has been able to directly invest in over 550 grounds since assuming office in August 2020, positively impacting the quality of life in those communities.
The grounds in question, Mr. Speaker, which is the ministry, but the ministry has the audacity to declare as complete, are glaring testament to the incompetence and misuse of public funds. My two colleagues yesterday mentioned and highlighted 2 grounds. Despite millions of dollars earmarked for these projects, the reality on the ground tells a different story. In budget 2022, 2023 and 2024, you said you were going to do 251 grounds. They were going to be upgraded. Fine. Then, latter part of the year, the minister came and said that the funds were exhausted and presented a list of 93 grounds. I have it in the hand, sir. Mr. Speaker, interestingly, how are these grounds completed? Fences poorly constructed, no gates in place on animals running over the field. The neglect has rendered the grounds unsafe for use, dangerous holes caused by animal activity, and stuff like that. These fields remain surrounded and invaded with negligence to the east, faggots on the west, inefficiency on the north, and more trouble on the south. This so-called completion is nothing but a sham showcasing government's failure to ensure accountability and proper oversight in the use of taxpayers' dollars.
Mr. Speaker, I want to say this about our community grounds because our members are speaking about community grounds. That when the APNU AFC came to government, they cut expenditure on community grounds. Cut community expenditure on community grounds by 66%. We used to spend $300 million a year on community grounds. And they want to come and profess that they love community grounds. It is for that reason that you've had the decrepitude in community grounds that we've had to make this investment now. We've completed and invested in the last 4 years 320 community grounds. And if you include the hinterland, the 248 villages, it is 550, over 550 community grounds that we've invested in. And this is something that I put my personal attention in because I know how important it is to young people. Because if they don't have a safe space to play in and to pursue their talents, we will lose them forever. They get involved in drugs and gangs and stealing, and then they end up either in jail or 6 feet below. And that's one of the reasons that I've put my personal attention in. Mr. Speaker, I've walked those grounds. I've done over 1,000 consultations with communities, more than the whole of the APNU AFC combined when they are in government and in opposition. I've done over 1,000. And I've walked through swamps and vegetations big like forests and ended up with bites and went through snake-infested fields. And I did all of that just so that I can highlight the importance. And now we are investing over $2 billion in community grounds and lighting those. And I've seen how those communities have changed.
Cricket news now. The left-arm spinner Veerasammy Permaul will start an 18th year in regional first-class cricket when he plays on Wednesday against Barbados Pride at the National Stadium, Providence. It will be his 145th match and a chance to add to a record 636 first-class wickets. Newsroom's Akeem Green peeked into the 35-year-old's mind to understand what he had done to become Guyana's trump card in first-class cricket for close to 2 decades.
Experience is certainly a big factor in any sport, and for the Guyana Harpy Eagles, they have the likes of Veerasammy Permaul, a left-arm spinner with a wealth of experience in first-class cricket, over 600 wickets to his name, and he's banking on producing and increasing those numbers this season. I've managed to get some insights into Permaul of what has worked for him over those years of taking so many wickets for the Guyana Harpy Eagles. He has home advantage this season with 4 matches. You will hear from him that even though there is always home advantage at times in the first-class season, there's much to do, and it always starts with sticking to the basics of the game.
I come to you, boy.
With me is none other than Veerasammy Permaul. We are at one of the pitches here at Providence, a pitch I'm certain that Permaul would have had a lot of success, and as I have mentioned earlier, how does he go about getting that success? Permaul, a couple of days out before any 4-day match, a test match or so, how do you assess the wicket to begin thinking about how to go about bowling on the wicket?
Well, first of all, I just always come to the ground and take a look at the wicket, hoping that whatever my prediction is, it's gonna work on the day. But most of the time is be on spot. Like we preparing for a first-class season starting in a couple of days' time. As you can see the wicket, it got a lot of dead grass in it, and for Guyana over the years been slow and turning wicket. So it depends on the condition. Sometimes the length vary. When the wicket is slower, I tend to bowl a bit fuller because I prefer to get a drive than a pull or a cut. And when the wicket is like good for batting, then the length probably come back a bit.
Yeah, that kind of mentality over the years, you believe it's something about testing patience of the batsman as well? You spoke about those areas, about length as well, about testing the patience of the batsman?
Well, for the cricket in generally is about patience. Is who be more patient tend to reap the reward. And you know, not only in for the cricket, test cricket, growing up, I heard a lot of coaches say that if you string 5 good overs together, something normally happen, and I don't think that theory ever changed. It still remain the same thing. And in for the cricket, patience, the most important thing.
As a close-up of this wicket here, where are some areas at this part you'll be looking to hit to attack probably, let's say, bowling to a left-handed situation?
Well, most important thing is the length. And in for the cricket, the length is a key component, the line as well, because you want to be testing the batsman all the time.
Probably bringing them forward a lot more.
Yeah, most of the time. As spinners, the most important thing is to bring a batsman on the front foot. Once you could bring a batsman on the front foot, most of the time you in control of things, and they stepping back, and you know you trying to get your line and your length right. But the most important thing is to bring a batsman on the front foot and stay as close and test the defense.
Yeah, and something what I've noticed over the last couple of months or so being around the Harpy Eagles setup, a lot of the young players speak about a lot of advice being get from Veerasammy Permaul. Tell us about that, probably a transition and passing on that wealth of knowledge you speak about.
Well, I think the youngsters these days got a bit more opportunity and privilege to get players and even coaches around. That I think when I grew up, we had Permaul, but I don't think he was more into technical things. He just know basic things that could help a cricketer. But as a spin bowler now, I develop different things. I look at different bowlers, especially for a left-hand spin. I look at more like Daniel Vittori. I think probably one of the best left-hand spin in the world I've seen. And
very economical action as well.
And the consistency. And pass on the knowledge to the young player, because now for me, I could see a lot of things from playing and from a coaching aspect. I could see different things that I could help youngsters. And the good thing is, once they're willing to learn and willing to work, you could achieve anything.
Yeah, and what keeps you going though? I know age is up on that end, but still fit as ever. I saw the other day. What keeps you going? Over 550 odd wickets for Guyana specifically, and also over 600 first-class wickets in general. What's the driving factor for Permaul these days?
I think the love for the game and the motivation I get from playing cricket. I love playing cricket for Guyana. I love taking wicket. I love Guyana winning cricket game, and I think the love that keeps me going with cricket all now.
Yeah, certainly there you would have heard from Veerasammy Permaul that the key is execution. Even though he has a wealth of knowledge, clearly by the numbers he has stacked up over the years in first-class cricket, it still comes down to execution. And you've heard from him about the keys to executing and also passing on that advice to the next generation of Guyana Harpy Eagles. Reporting from the National Stadium alongside Veerasammy Permaul, I'm Akim Green.
Meanwhile, the Guyana Harpy Eagles coach Ryan Hercules has expressed supreme confidence in his players as they seek a successful title defense of the West Indies 4-Day Championship. The reigning champions will take on Barbados Pride in the opening round of the championship from Wednesday, January 29th at the National Stadium, Providence. With several senior players otherwise engaged, the Harpy Eagles head into the championship under new leadership and some fresh faces. And according to Hercules, it is about players accepting responsibility and seizing the moment. Since the advent of the regional franchise system, Guyana Harpy Eagles have won 7 of the 9 titles, a remarkable run of consistency in the longest version of regional cricket. Coach Ryan Hercules is aiming to extend that purple patch, and in the absence of the regular skipper Tevin Imlach and spin pair Gudukesh Moti and Kevin Sinclair, who are in Pakistan with the West Indies Test team, and the injured Shamar Joseph, the onus is on the others to step up. For Hercules, he has the utmost belief in the players that they can not only deliver championship success, but also challenge for a permanent spot in the team, even when the established players return.
I start the confidence level always. I mean, whichever group we have, I have to be the one to make sure I set that tone with the guys. There's no doubt. I believe in them. So I let them know daily that I believe in everything we do. Every day, every training session, the work we come in and we put in, I believe in them. So, and I said to them as well, on that game day, I'm not out there to play the cricket, so you guys need to go out there and show your part. So in terms of the confidence, I believe in the guys in each and every single one, what they have to offer. Obviously, we know that there's some senior guys that's going to be back from that second round. I mean, so I said to them, you know, put your hand up for that first round, give the selectors something to think about, you know, so not just play the game. I said to them, if you the easiest thing to me is, I think, is making the team. And the hardest thing is staying in the team. So that's conversation we have with those young players. So I'm 100% sure that these guys are going to go out. You have your good days and your bad days. I want them to understand that, yes, it's okay, sometimes you're going to fail in life, you fail. But, you know, just be ready to how you're going to bounce back to, you know, to make a comeback. And with cricket, it happens. You have a good session, you have a bad session. It's important to prepare yourself mentally to make sure you be ready for when that time comes to do well.
In the absence of Imlach, at least for this opening round, there is additional responsibility on Kemal Savory, just 12 matches into his first-class career. The SKAR has been appointed captain, a role that he will add to wicket-keeping and being one of the key batsmen in the middle.
Yeah, obviously Savory been around for quite some time and been one of the batters who've been scoring some runs. So I think he was the, you know, that #1 candidate whilst the guys away. Yeah, so it's just for him being more responsible. You know, I'm having some good conversation with him in terms of how we want the guys to look at him as a leader. He's been around the likes of Leon Johnson and these guys before, so he can take a page out of the book on how they're going about doing things, right? So obviously, you know, he being the leader now is a young captain, someone we're going to look to groom for the future. I say no pressure in terms of you being the captain. First up, you're a batsman, right? You're a wicket keeper. Your role will come first, but, you know, being the captain, you'll have to manage it. So yes, we're looking forward to see him. We had him do the practice game. I think he did exceptionally well in terms of balancing the bowlers and stuff. So it'll be a good challenge for him starting from the first round.
The Guyana Harpy Eagles squad reads Kemal Savory captain, Machu Nandu vice captain, Tejnarain Chandapal, Raymond Perez, Kevlin Anderson, Ronaldo Ali Mohammed, Junior Sinclair, Veerasammy Permaul, Anthony Adams, Niall Smith, Isaiah Thurn, Richie Loknot, and Thaddeus Lovell. The Barbados Pride squad reads Raymond Reefer captain, Lenico Boucher, Jonathan Drakes, Matthew Ford, Chaim Holder, Chamar Holder, Matthew Jones, Javid Leacock, Jair McAllister, Zachary McCaskey, Demetrius Richards, Ramon Simmons, and Kevin Wickham. Now, the 2025 Dakota 100 Endurance Racing Series opening round delivered high-octane action as 27 cars rode onto the South Dakota circuit on Sunday battling for supremacy. Muhammad Ali emerged victorious after 100 grueling laps of intense competition, fending off a relentless challenge from Ramiz Mohammed to take the overall win. Piloting his Toyota Yaris GR, Ali demonstrated exceptional skill and consistency, completing the race in 2 hours, 38 minutes, 32.764 seconds to secure the top spot in both the overall and unlimited class categories. In the 0 to 1500cc class, Asad Hassan dominated with his Toyota Starlet EP82, completing 94 laps in 2 hours, 38 minutes, 40.522 seconds. Meanwhile, Mohammed Sarifuddin Roshandin secured another 1501 to 1600cc class win in his Toyota 11, clocking 92 laps in 2 hours, 39 minutes, 53.849 seconds. Dr. Mark Williams took the spotlight in the 1601 to 2000cc class, showcasing impressive driving in his Mazda Miata. He completed 97 laps in 2 hours, 38 minutes, 57.818 seconds, clinching victory in his category. And England produced a strong bowling performance to beat India by 26 runs in Rajkot to keep the T20 series alive. Having lost the opening 2 matches of the 5-match series, England had to win the third T20 to avoid defeat at the earliest opportunity. Ben Duckett struck a 28-ball 51 and Liam Livingstone hit 5 sixes in his 43 from 21 as England made what appeared to be a below-par 171 for 9 on a decent surface. But a superb display from the bowling lineup kept India behind the rate, and the home side fell well short of their target as they finished on 145 for 9. Having been put into bat, Duckett helped the Tourists start positively as they reached 83 for 1 in the 9th over. But the innings turned in India's favour when Butler was judged caught behind on a review for 24, and Duckett holed out to mid-wicket off the bowling of Akshar Patel the following over. Butler was the first victim of Varun Chakravarti, with the leg spinner bowling superbly to take 5 for 24 as England lost 8 for 60. India lost wickets steadily through their innings, while James E. Overton, who took 3 for 24, was the pick of the 5 bowlers England used. Hardik Pandya marshalled the second half of India's innings, but his sluggish 40 from 35 failed to swing the match back in the favour of the hosts. And with that, we've come to the end of the news for this evening. Of course, you can find updates on these and other stories on our website, newsroom.gy, and all social media platforms. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for watching. Be safe. See you next time.